Hey everyone, today I want to talk more about the things that I currently disagree with in our current culture today. I'm going to be mostly talking about US culture as I'm from the United States. I understand that many cultures are, of course, very different, but ultimately this video is going to be talking about the United States culture and how it's changed from even when I was a kid, so not even technically that long ago. A couple things I want to point out is I don't want this video to be a rant. I just want to kind of give a couple viewpoints as to why these things that I'm about to share are what I would consider bad. And hopefully at the end of the video, maybe we can come to an agreement about how we can change culture to not only help society, but also each other. First thing I want to point out, and what I think has changed a lot since I've been a kid, is ultimately these blurred lines of morality, right? Morality has been around since really the beginning of time. One can argue that it stems from religion. Other people argue that it stems from something maybe like evolution or something like that. But ultimately, recently, and I don't know when this exactly started, we've kind of replaced seek truth to live your truth, right? And while I do think it's extremely important that you find your truth and what makes sense to you, I think what has kind of been pushed in our society is this idea of tolerating everything, right? Like people go around with no accountability. They do anything they want, and they basically say to your face, well, you have to accept me, and you have to tolerate my behavior, right? And I think for a while, and since, I don't even know, maybe it was even before COVID, or maybe it was mostly COVID. I mean, all of a sudden, as a society, we've kind of done that. We've kind of looked at people and say, oh, just do you, do whatever you want. And I think to a very minimal sense, I think that's okay, but also we have to uphold the values that brought our society together, right? The values that made this nation strong. And I'm not saying we can't maybe change some things here or there, but also I think this idea of just kind of tolerating everything leaves these blurred lines of, well, where do we actually draw the line? Number 2, consumerism over character. So in our society, we are consuming at rates that are enormously high, right? Not even that long ago, it wasn't even possible to buy anything online. Right, you've only been able to really buy things online since maybe the early 2000s. And why that's important is now everything that we watch, whether it be on social media or TV or wherever, there is always an advertisement getting pushed in our face. And the difference between these advertisements now, compared to maybe in like the 60s or 70s, is people can act upon these things in a much different way. It's a lot easier for you to spend money and consume at a very high rate. We're not creating as much as we used to. So many people are just stuck looking at their phones and scrolling all day. I can't even begin to tell you how many people when I'm driving home from work are just looking at their phone, not even looking at the road in front of them. You can tell because they're drifting in and out of lanes. It's almost just this disregard for their life, and it's weird. Right? It's like people are selling their souls also on social media, these influencers, to get you to buy a certain product. These brands, how many times have you seen a BetterHelp ad or a Factor Meals or these VPN ads? These influencers are essentially just selling their souls for a little bit of money, right? Just to make a buck. And that leads me to my third point is hyper-individualism. And it kind of ties into my first point, but hyper-individualism is essentially a couple things, right? Self-expression is good, but we've taken it to an extreme, right? We've kind of gone from like we're all in this together to just focus on yourself, right? How many times have you been told to just focus on yourself? Do you focus on you? Don't worry about anything else. And while I do agree with some of that, and I do think that's a good idea to a certain degree, I think it's taken things too far, right? You see these alpha male influencers on social media, and they kind of tell you to basically just run people over to get what you want, right? disregard everything else and just get what you want. And a lot of these alpha male influencers are a load of garbage anyway. But we can't, as a society, we can't function on 8 billion different egos, right? Like if everybody's got this massive ego, we're all just going to be 8 billion people who want to kill each other, essentially. And I think society works best when we have everybody looking to help and to kind of serve others. Where is the sense of community, loyalty? I feel like we've lost loyalty in many things these days. I mean, who can you even trust? That's going to be my last point as well. Number 4, media that devalues any sort of meaning, right? Like how many times have you seen a reality TV show that makes you want to just rip your eyeballs out? Comedy that makes you, it's not even like funny nowadays. It's almost like super dark to the point that it's like, man, this is true. Like this isn't even funny. This is like super true. Like do people even like one another anymore? And a lot of clickbait, right? Like how many times have you been scrolling through any of your social medias and you see clickbait, right? Like people will do everything in their power to get you to click on their video, to sell you their product, this and that. Ultimately, if we break it down, it's for greed and it's for money. And it doesn't add anything to society. It's essentially just a creator of some sort whose main focus is to sell you something, right? Like when was the last time you saw a creator that actually told you that you were something more than what you already thought? What's the last time you saw a creator lift people up instead of kind of break people down or kind of add to the drama of life that we see so much of? You know, when's the last time you saw a creator that sole purpose was being super real, being super honest, right? There's a few that come to mind, of course, because they are out there, but there's just so few, mostly because the more real you are in this world, I feel like the more hate that you get. People are judging you. I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, people are judging you no matter what. And the more real you are, I feel like it's a little bit harder to grow on social media. And I think a lot of people start social media or just content creation in general just to make a buck or two, you know, make some money and see if it'll turn into a new career. I heard this stat the other day that kids growing up don't want to be, you know, police officers or astronauts or firefighters. They want to be YouTubers and social media, you know, content creators, right? And while in theory there's nothing wrong with that, it's taken our society by storm, and we no longer value the jobs that we really need for society. We now value entertainers and entertainment higher than anything else. Number 5, and last but not least, is we no longer see institutions as trustworthy, right? When's the last time you thought about the government, the U.S. government, any government as trustworthy or something that you could put your faith in, right? And maybe you do. Maybe you do have a lot of faith in the government. I personally don't. And I think it's just due to, once again, the core problem is all overall greed. Like, why is Nancy Pelosi like almost a billionaire? Like, it's kind of funny. There are Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts that track her trading, her stock trading history. She's made like hundreds of millions of dollars on trading stocks, and it's absolutely insane how, you know, easy it is to spot her insider trading, but nobody does anything about it. That's besides the point. A lot of our politicians don't really care about the everyday people. They just care about getting elected. You know, getting elected gives you power and gives you fame. And nowadays it gets you a lot of money. And a lot of our representatives don't make, their salaries aren't really that incredible, yet they're multi-millionaires. And it's weird to me because I'm like, well, how are they making this money? Right? And there's a lot of different ways they do it. I'm not going to go down a massive conspiracy, but one conspiracy that is the truth is there is a lot of insider trading. Trust ultimately is collapsing in our society. We used to believe in these institutions, and now I feel like we all just kind of don't like the government, hate the government, don't feel like the government has our best interests in mind. And I don't think we're wrong. I think we're right on the money with a lot of that, which is unfortunate because you would like to see the government work for you instead of against you. when trust dies, so does the willingness to live by any sort of shared values. And I think we're losing a sense of value in our society today. I would love to see these things change. I would love to see us as a group of people, as a society, be truthful, be honest, so we can trust each other again, reclaim the values that we used to hold together, these ideas of having a family, being a collective culture to where we don't just have a whole bunch of individuals with egos trying to outdo one another, where we actually come together as a society and help one another. And I hope we just start doing the right thing. I hope we don't blur the lines of morality anymore. Like I said earlier, while I do agree focusing on yourself is very good, I think we've taken it just a little bit too far, and I think we need to come back and say, what can I do for others? I don't want to only focus on myself. What can I do for the greater good of others? Because I think if we all look to give more to society, if everybody did that, I don't think anybody would be in need, right? If everybody looked to give, nobody would be wanting more per se. And that's maybe debatable. I think everybody wants a little bit more no matter what. But we get what we give to society, and I think right now we're just not giving a lot. We're kind of expecting everything to just be given to us. So that's going to conclude the video. Let me know what you think. If you have any other things to add in the comments below, or anything that you think is maybe something that you want to change in society today, and maybe what your plan is to kind of make that change. So that's all for me. More videos to come. Appreciate all of you who watch and comment and like. See you soon. Thanks.